G'day guys, I'm out this evening with Bucket on a feral pig contract. We've travelled a little bit further west than I do usually go for work. The report off this landowner, unfortunately, is hundreds of pigs. That doesn't surprise me. We've had a bit of a scope out in here this afternoon. There is a lot of sign running across the roads into some recently harvested wheat fields. I think we're going to be very busy on this one. If you want to see how it all unfolds, stick around. Both Bucket and I are running Wedgetail Industries WT25 308 rifles. We're also both running Pulsar Thermion 2 LRF XL60 thermal rifle scopes. Awesome bits of kit, these things. Auto scan is a very, very nice thing. A line of pigs picking our way in through this timber out here. As you can see in the background, it's just about dark. This situation worked out very well. I've ridden out into the paddock on the e-bike, and Bucket, he's about 800 metres away in the vehicle, ready to intercept the pigs on those big pads as they retreat out of the paddock. Going off the noise that I can hear out there, Bucket is absolutely smashing those pigs. Worked out very nicely. There's the old size 11 boot for scale. These guys are only about 3/4 grown, and they are very hard to hit when they're at full flight. Not a bad job of that group though. Something that often comes up in the video comments is the audio recorded by these thermal devices. What you have to remember is I'm shooting a metal rifle. It has metal rifle rings and a metal scope with an audio recorder, aka microphone, in that. To be blunt, it's often quite terrible because it picks up all the harmonics through the rifle on that audio recording. Even if the action's buttery smooth, it still comes across as not amazing. The biggest shame to all of that is you guys don't hear the thuds downrange when those 308 rounds are impacting the pigs. It's often impressive, to say the least. It's definitely an oversized load, this one. I think you could say that this boar has an absolute splitting headache. Look, this one, to be blunt, was an absolute shit show. I couldn't shoot to the left where all of those pigs ran because Bucket's down there in the vehicle, safety first and foremost. So as I've panned back to the right as the other animals were retreating in that direction, I didn't pick that contour bank and the pigs disappeared straight over the back of it. Cheeky buggers. Just ignore those chicken twisties in the background. One thing I probably never mention in the videos is using UHF radios to communicate with a shooting partner. Very, very important. I'm running these little GME ones. They work very well, 5 watt, plenty of range. Generally, we do run them on our chest rig, as I am now. This one's a spare, but I use an earpiece just to keep them that little bit easier and quieter when you are in on those pigs. Yes, we've both just shot the same pig. Lucky I was quick on that third round and I've plugged it just as it's jumped into that long grass. 3, 2, 1. It's a little bit hard to tell when I stand up, but this part of the crop hasn't been harvested. It's either been water damaged, pig damaged. I would probably say both is the right answer. Just waiting for it to get dark and the pigs to come out in the open on track meals. For dinner, we're having beef bolognese tonight. Singapore noodles, you put those in the flameless heater packs to warm up. Very, very nice. And we will have coconut rice pudding for dessert. We're starting our second night with a slightly different plan. We're going to sit up here in the timber and long grass where these pigs live and bed down and just run subsonics in the 308s. That will allow the whole area to quieten right down, hopefully, and those big groups of pigs that aren't in our immediate vicinity because we're shooting quiet rounds will filter out onto those big open paddocks. When it gets a bit later, we'll head out there, hopefully chew into a few more. I'm always telling my children not to spill the tomato sauce. That's obviously what's happened to this little boar as he walked in towards me to 17 metres. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's having a sleep. He just must have spilt that sauce as he went down. Bit of a shame. I don't normally run subsonics in the Wedgetail, but tonight I'm giving these pigs a little bit of special attention. Reason I don't normally run subs is they won't self-load in this rifle. It's back to a single shot manual cycle of that bolt carrier group. Shoot again. It does make a fair bit of noise when I do racket, but the shots are very, very quiet and it's not clearing out these fields of the high numbers of pigs. So plan is chew into some where I can with the subsonics, swap over to the Fiocchi 150 SST, supersonic rounds, chew into the bigger numbers with those. So far it's working very well.
Don't shoot. Oh. There's a pig. Pig to the left.
Oh, sorry, I'd already pulled the trigger. Is that
pig to the left?
Right out in the background? Yeah, let's see.
291 metres. Do you want to walk up to it?
That is one very, very hot rifle. It's really niggly shooting these large groups of pigs as I do start to fire on them, and they run in these big arcs out through the paddocks. Often I'm pivoting completely around 180 degrees the other way on the tripod with the rifle on it to continue firing at those pigs. That means I've got to get my feet round the tripod legs and everything that's on the ground. It's often quite difficult. It probably doesn't come across in the videos in that way, but I just wanted to make that point. That's a decent lump of Vasea. It is that time of night that I call out the channel supporter of these thermal hunting videos, and that is Ben down at Hunt the Night. If you are in the market for anything thermal, or what else we're using here tonight, he's got a really good website. If you check it out, in a brand new store down in Pakenham, Victoria. He's a good guy. Have a look. He's a pretty tidy boar, this fella. Way out on the flat by himself, not another pig in sight.
Howdy.
That was eventful.
How'd it go? Good?
Yeah, heaps. I am absolutely smashed. The sun's not too far off coming up after our second night. What an absolutely staggering result. Would you believe that we've shot 306 pigs out here? Never have I shot that many. We will definitely be back on this property. We know that already. It just goes to prove, bloody insects, what you can do on the ground with some good gear and really good teamwork. So big thanks to Bucket for coming out and helping on this one. Amazing results. I probably should note that it's not just about the equipment and the people. Caffeine, very important. A big shout out to Bailey and Hunter. You guys are a little pair of legends. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. As usual, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you have the chance, I'd really appreciate it if you'd have a look at my Patreon. If you've got a mate that might like this content, please share a link to him. It's all private. It really helps with the algorithm if people can assist in that way. These platforms aren't often all that friendly for hunting content, let's be honest there. Anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed the video, and I'll see everyone next time.